This is Corolla Digital.
Hey guys, it's Skip.
And Alison Bedell.
We're really happy to be part of Corolla Digital and to bring you our first podcast. The first bunch of episodes were recorded earlier in the year as we thought we'd be launching them back then. So you may hear some things talked about that seem untimely with what's going on right now.
Also, in the first dozen episodes, we recorded some segments where we talk about other things that we thought fans would love to hear, but it made the podcast way too long.
So you may notice that on occasion, something seems like it's missing, and that's because we cut some of it out of the podcast.
But in the meanwhile, we'll be taking listener questions from Facebook and Twitter and add things as we figure out what works and what you want to hear.
Until then, sit back and enjoy Hammer and Nails.
Welcome to Hammer and Nails with Skip and Alison Bedell.
Hey, hey.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing really good.
Nice. Looking good. As usual.
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you. I'm really excited to talk about our night.
Which night are we talking about? Last night or the night that we had last week?
Last night.
Or both? Okay.
Well, let's welcome everybody.
Hey, guys. Hey, thanks for
the,
tuning in again to Hammer and Nails.
Today. And talk about what's been going on with us lately. Last night being the most fresh in our minds since we got back super late last night and only got a few hours of sleep, and here we are right now.
Yeah, we were fortunate enough to get invited by our good friend and co-host on the show, Adam Carolla, to his movie premiere, the new movie Road Hard that's just coming out right now. It was at Caroline's Comedy Club last night in New York City, and what a great time we had.
Yeah, I've never been there before. Have you?
I think like years and years ago, I vaguely remember it. For one occasion, I don't remember who was playing, but not well enough to even talk about it.
Yeah.
But it was a great time.
Yeah,
last night,
yeah. Right? When we got there at first, they were doing a live podcast.
Yeah.
That was it started at 7 p.m. and he was on stage with Artie Lang and Howie Mandel. And that was really cool.
That was like the trifecta of comedy, man. Talk about three funny guys.
Yeah.
Holy crap, right?
Yeah, it was really funny. I really enjoyed listening to that, and that was really cool. The Howie, I had never really seen him in person doing anything, any stand-up or anything like that. I didn't really have any idea he was that funny.
Super funny guy.
Yeah,
right?
That was a really good podcast.
They played a couple of video clips of like when he was on Johnny Carson, Tonight Show, so many times, and all the crazy kooky things he did.
And then when they got done with the podcast, they came back to the green room area where Adam had us go back there with him.
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught it when Howie was walking by. I introduced myself.
I did. I caught. Oh my God! I caught. All right, for those of you who don't know, Howie Mandel was a germaphobe. So I mean, that's pretty much public knowledge. But for those of you who weren't aware of that, so I could see it happening in slow motion. I'm like, no. Howie walks up and Adam's like, "Hey guys, this is Howie Mandel." Alison extends out her hand to shake his hand.
My open hand.
And he has a huge "do not shake his hand." Everybody in show business knows don't ever try to shake Howie Mandel's hand. And I'm going, oh no.
Yeah, and I remembered it like as I was extending that open hand.
It's like when you lock your keys in the car and you're just closing the door and it's full swing, but before the door has even left your hand.
Yeah.
Can't touch it. Yeah. But past the point of no return, you go, oh shit.
Yeah, and I could see the look in his eyes actually. He looked at me like, you know better. Like
I was watching your hand and then looked up at his eyes and the look that he gave you was like, really?
Yeah.
Like, do you know who the fuck I am?
I know. And then I said, oh.
Thing when you go to extend the hand and then you're like,
oh, yeah. Over your head, But I said, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. And then like I gave him the fist and he gave me the
that was the thing for the rest of the night, like the bro bump, right?
Yeah,
like he's bumping everybody.
And his guy too, whoever that was with him, I don't know if it was his manager or friend, whatever. Yeah, but he also did the same.
Manager people, everybody's bumping fists.
They all bumped. He didn't want to shake my hand either.
Yeah. So don't take it personally. What's that?
I don't take it personally. I mean, I knew. I just forgot because I was excited, that we were just meeting him for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Artie Lang, he came by. He was really nice.
Yeah, he was great. He told a funny story of his first time. Well, let me start off by saying Adam asked each of them Tell us about your first experience ever doing stand-up. Where was it? What year was it? And what was the bit that you did? So they each told us, and Artie talked about his story about the song parody that he had about the Cheers theme from the show Cheers. It was about the bar, and he filled in.
When everybody knows you're gay.
Right.
Yeah.
Where everybody knows you're gay.
Yeah, that
and it was the
it.
whole thing on that. It was very, very funny.
Yeah, that was good.
And he proceeded to tell us that it was like a 5-minute bit that he did fully stoned out on mushrooms. After going to a Grateful Dead and was it Bob Dylan and Grateful Dead show?
Yeah. Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah.
So then, they all went into the room afterwards. We hung out with them for a little bit, and then the whole premiere thing started. They cleared out the room of everybody and who was just there to see the podcast, and then they brought people back in who were there, the contributors to the GoFundMe that he had done to.
Yes, for those of you who aren't aware of the new movie that Adam just written, directed, starred in, and everything else you can imagine. They funded this movie with, was it like a crowdfunding thing, right?
Yeah,
like
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe. So they raised over $1 million. I think it was like close to $1.5 million with something like 14,000 contributors that basically the movie was completely paid for by people just donating money.
Yeah.
So he's been doing this tour now from city to city and kind of giving all these folks that donated their money, they're giving them like a night out. He's taking them out to dinner. He's doing a live podcast.
Yeah, and so everybody was really excited to see the movie, and it was Adam was in rare form last night. He was different, right? He was really happy. Not that he's not normally happy, but he was he was going through like this moment, and you could see it in his face and the way he spoke. He was like really happy last night and really proud. And
I was proud of him.
I was too.
You could tell me we know him now, for quite a while and working with him, and this has been like his baby. He's got a ton of projects. He's one of the busiest people that I've ever met in my lifetime. But this was a big deal for him, and to see him last night get that appreciation and that love that he's so deserving of was really cool, and he received it well, he received it graciously, and you could tell he was just happy to be there. Yeah,
he was so appreciative. The seats that we sat in, the guy who was seating everybody in Caroline's wanted to sit us in some shitty seats in the back, and you were like, no, we're not sitting here, and I said, oh no, we're not sitting here.
Do you know who we are?
Do you know who we are?
I just turned my back on the guy.
You started walking away, and I was like, well, I'm following you. And then the guy, after you walked away, the guy said something to me like, that was rude, and, why don't you just wait for me? I'll find another seat.
Listen, first of all, I didn't say that. I don't want anybody to think that I'm like that. I'm so not the celebrity car.
You said it to me.
I did.
You said it to me.
I said it to you kiddingly. I never played the
celebrity
card.
And I thought to myself, no, but we didn't say, do you know who we are? No. But I was like, same thing too. Like, I'm not sitting. I didn't,
That's a douche move. That's like a Matthew McConaughey.
No, but we weren't sitting there. Like, we were going to sit near Adam as it was, and we didn't know where he was going to sit. But I ended up finding us these sweet seats with a cushion, with a nice view. And then, as it turned out, there was that little the table and a couple chairs in front of us. So Adam sat there with Mike August to watch the movie. So we're like literally sitting 2 feet behind him, watching him watch the movie.
Yeah,
and it was.
I took the coolest picture, right?
Yeah.
So I took a picture and I emailed it to him later on the evening. It was like kind of the back of him, and you could see past him what he was looking at was a movie screen, and it was him on the screen doing a stand-up bit, and next to the movie screen was the Caroline sign.
Yeah.
So it was us watching him on stage doing stand-up. I thought it was the coolest picture
ever. It was very cool, and the whole time we're watching the movie, and he was sitting there watching the movie, which was really cool too, because I know that he's seen it 1,000 times, and he's been to these other venues where they were playing it, but he was sitting there watching it quietly, like he wasn't like not paying attention because he's seen it before. He was intently watching it, and I'm watching him watching it, and this feeling of
I was watching you, watching him, watching.
Were you?
It's a lot of watching.
It was a lot of watching. And I really had, like, when I look at you doing things, I had this feeling of like pride. Like, I feel so proud of him. Like his thing came over me. Like, I was really feeling for him, like that I felt so proud of him, and I could see him feeling proud, and it was just, I had just such a good feeling about me, like sitting there watching that, and it was just a really happy moment.
It was a good feeling in the room, and I could tell you were feeling the same thing I was. It was just a good good thing to be there and share that experience with him, because we love him, we
Yeah.
love working with him, and we know the real dude, you know, behind the camera. Like he's the realest, most genuine, nicest person. And to see him get those...
I'm getting a happy cry right now. I'm totally thinking about it. I'm feeling it.
To see him get those accolades, you know, and people were just so loving him last night was really very cool. Because, you know, we're on the set, we're around our crew and everything. There's nobody standing up and giving you an ovation. You know, there's nobody, like, even all the good stuff that we do on our show, you don't get that so much. And it's nice to see him get that, because he
worked so hard on that.
Ass off.
Yeah, and he put so much time and heart into it, and it was just really cool to see. Even just anybody put so much work and love into something, and to see the fruition of it, it was just a really cool thing.
Well, the movie is about a comedian on the road. It pretty much like kind of parallels his life. And, you know, the ups and downs of being a stand-up comedian on the road, and, you know, hence Road Hard. And us knowing him and know how much he travels. The guy is hardly ever home. He has a beautiful wife and 2 beautiful children, and he's hardly ever home because he just works and works and works. So to watch this movie and see his side of it, how he perceives it, it was just a really cool experience, and we're happy for him.
Yeah, because he's a real person, you know, and I really hope that people, when they watch this, they get a good sense of really who he is as a person, because when you see somebody only, like you hear them on the podcast or you see them on television, you still don't really know who they are. But I think that this movie had a really good feel for his inner person, you know, like who he really is. He really is a good guy. And it does take a little bit of a while to get to see that part of him, just because he is a normal guy and he is shy a bit, you know, and when you have to get to know him, just like anybody else, you know. Yeah. So that was really cool. And after the movie, he did the Q&A with everybody, and he's just he took pictures with everybody. He answered everybody's questions.
Do you remember when the guy came in, the doorman from the club, and he just came off stage after the whole thing, the podcast, the movie premiere, and then a Q&A session, and we're saying our goodbyes in his dressing room, and the doorman comes in. He goes, "Hey, Adam, listen, man, there's a lady that's been outside, and mind you, it's freezing. It's 10 degrees out.
Absolutely freezing.
There's like a foot of slush on the ground, right? She's been standing outside since 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's now like 1:30 in the morning, and she's like, she would really love it if you could just give a signature on
the book.
She has a book that she wanted him to sign.
Yeah.
And he just stopped everything he's doing. And, you know, he's just one of those guys. He will always take a picture with you. He'll always give you an autograph. He'll always shake your hand. And he always says thank you.
Always.
I love that about him. And I find us doing that a lot, too. Because, you know, last night being there in his presence, a lot of people, you know, associate us, of course, with him.
Yeah.
So when we go to these things that we get invited to, and there's been a number we've gone to, it's kind of cool for us, too, because we get recognized, you know, 100 times during the night. Hey, guys, love Catch a Contractor. And, you know, they're really there to see him.
Yeah.
But
I appreciate that so much. I'm so happy people watch the show and love it.
Oh, yeah. But, you know, it feels good to, you know, to kind of thank those people, because we never really get a chance to say thank you. You know, on social media, with Twitter, we always reply to people, but it's nice to have the opportunity to kind of shake some hands.
Yeah. And I feel like he's really a good person to learn that example from, too, because, you know, he is so thankful, and it's a good reminder to be thankful and to acknowledge everybody, because if it wasn't for all the people that listen and watch, you know.
Yeah, if it wasn't for them, you know, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing, and neither would he. Yeah. You know, we both came from humble backgrounds, all of us, you know, and I don't think he takes anything for granted, and we don't either. So it's kind of a cool thing that we get together on.
I wanted to, I came across this article this morning, Huffington Post, about him, because he's been doing this whole publicity thing, going from show to show. He's on the Today Show, right? And he's been all over the place, the last 4 days in New York, and he did an interview with Huffington Post, and I thought this was a really fucking cool article, Huffington Post. Adam Carolla says he's done apologizing for jokes about race and sexuality. Want me to read it to you?
Yeah, please.
Adam Carolla is not sorry about his jokes that others find offensive. When he stopped by HuffPost Live on Thursday to chat about the new film Road Hard, which Carolla co-wrote, co-directed, and stars in, the comic responded to a viewer who asked for his take on Calling Out Carolla, a Tumblr blog that documents anti-LGBT language Carolla has used. Go find a politician or somebody who's in charge and poke a popsicle stick up their butt, Carolla answered. I'm a comedian. I'm done apologizing. I really am. And by the way, everyone who apologizes is faking it. They're only doing it because they're going to get canned. Carolla added that he doesn't feel responsible for how anyone interprets the things he says. And then it goes on to say, I'm here to make commentaries. I'm here to share my opinions. Tough shit if you don't like it. Thank you. Love that about him.
He's a real dude. And
totally.
I think the people, his diehard fans, know that he is a person that he sticks to. He says what he feels.
He says what his opinions are.
Exactly. And if you don't like it, then fuck off.
Exactly. And and what I've heard people say that, he said this, and it's like he sounds like he's racist, or he sounds like he's against gay people. Right. He's not. He has opinions on certain things. He doesn't do anything to harm anybody. He's not in any kind of groups, or he doesn't follow any kind of anything he's not against anybody. He's got opinions about certain things, and if you don't like his opinions, too fucking bad, Right. So I'm really glad that because he's a comedian. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's calling out Lisa Lampanelli, who's using the N-word, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, she says a lot worse. And people realize she's a comedian, she's funny, but he gets it like he's a politician, and he's not. Right. It's like he's a fucking comedian. If you think it's funny, laugh, and if you don't like it, don't listen.
You dick!
It's okay for her to talk about banging black guys, right?
Anything, and more than that. So I thought that was really fucking cool, because once you get to know him, you realize that he is a comedian. He says things to be funny, and it's just like people are so divisive when it comes to their opinions about him and getting to know him. I don't agree with everything he says. Right. He fucking hates the dogs on the plane, Oh my
God, that was funny last night when we were watching the premiere, and one of the scenes in Road Hard is him getting onto a plane, and a woman sits down next to him with a little dog on her lap, and this is now a service dog, supposedly, and I'm doing like quotes.
Air quotes.
Yeah. It's a service dog, and he goes, well, what service does your dog provide? Oh, he's an emotional support dog. And he's like, really?
Yeah. And he really does believe that. He, as far as he doesn't like that. Right. And I bring Kilo every flight.
The funny part about it is that that's you.
That's absolutely me.
Alison flies with our Chihuahua Kilo on her lap everywhere she goes.
Yeah.
And he knows that, but it was just kind of funny.
I don't take offense. I don't, because that's his opinion. I don't give a shit. Right. You know what I mean? Right. It doesn't affect me in any way. It's like you don't have to really agree. I don't agree with a ton of things he says, but it doesn't change how I feel about him as a person. So I was just I'm just coming off the high of a really fucking good night, and I'm really happy that it was a great night.
Yeah, thanks for the invite, and we really enjoyed being there.
And speaking of another great night, we had such an awesome weekend.
Oh, last weekend!
Oh my God!
Cool was that?
Yeah.
So being that our show is on Spike, of course, we get invited to a lot of very cool things. And Bellator MMA is on Spike. And so from time to time, we get invited to these great fights and these venues at, big hotels and casinos and all of that thing. And usually it's like front row right next to the cage and seats that, most people would never be able to get. Yeah. And we kind of do a little meet and greet with some, Catch a Contractor fans. And it's always a cool time.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So we went to a great fight. We saw Bellator 134, which was billed as the British Invasion. Supposedly these guys are coming from overseas, and they're going to challenge all of our belt holders, all of our title guys, to take their belt back across the sea, in each weight class. And great fights.
It was great fights, but what was really cool, they gave us, this time, we had these VIP passes. Last time we went, they gave us our tickets. We were in the front row. We were right at the cage. It was awesome. But this time they changed the way that they present the fights. You notice, like, they make it like a big production now. They got the big screens in the back. They had like the big catwalk that the fighter walks out onto to go to the cage. Yeah. It was a big production. So they had this big VIP section, and we were in the front row of the VIP section.
The VIP section.
We were in the VIP section, and there were so many people in the VIP section. There was like a big VIP section, and we were in the front row of the VIP section, which was really fucking cool. But what was even cooler about the VIP section was the food. They kept bringing us free food, and free drinks kept coming out. I love free food and free drinks.
All right, so let's talk about that. We're about 2 weeks or a couple weeks outside of starting to film again.
And we're dieting.
Yeah, so we're trying to get camera ready, Joe.
Because the holidays just passed.
Man, exactly. We just got through the holidays. Yeah. About the 10 pounds of camera ads, which by the way is a bunch of bullshit because there's more like 25. Yeah, at least.
And I'm up I've been up about 10 pounds since Thanksgiving and Christmas and your mom, like with desserts galore. So I've been having a really rough time of trying to shave those pounds off. But they kept coming out.
They're coming with a drink after drink after drink. Chocolate chip cookies. Like this big, right? With like a Spike logo on them, right? As many as you could eat, which I didn't have any, by the way.
And every time Skip looked one way, they were like handing out, and they'd be looking like different waitresses were handing out the cookies, so they didn't know I already had cookies, so I would tuck them under my thigh, and then I would grab another from another waitress because she didn't see that I had one already. Yeah. So then I ended up with 6 cookies, and the big cookies in the packages.
Which which I should say that we took most of them home.
We did.
I think that we had like a late night because we didn't get back to the room till like 5, 6 in the morning or some ridiculous thing. And, you get the munchies like when you're back, at the room.
Yeah. Oh my God!
The only thing there was to eat was his cookies. But
yeah. Oh my God! So at the fight, while everybody's piling into their seats,
right.
We see Kimbo Slice is there. He comes in, and then we see Tito Ortiz.
Right.
He comes in, and he's dressed up really nicely. He's like,
who we met just a week or so prior.
The two of them we met.
Cool Spike event that we get to hang out with, and take some pictures with cool people.
The promo shoot.
Yeah. So we had met them already a couple weeks prior.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
They were like, hey guys, what's up? They
right, exactly. It was very cool.
Us.
Yeah. So they were there. The guy who won season 2 of Ink Master, he was there, but he was way rows back and behind us. He was with his girlfriend. We met him. So then when the fight ended, actually, I walked out of the it was the big fight of the night, and I know,
like, where are you going?
I had such building guilt about Kilo, who we snuck into the hotel. He was in the room. And I didn't realize there was so many.
We sneak that dog in everywhere. If you haven't seen Kilo, he's like 3 pounds?
Yeah, it's like 3.5 pounds.
Yeah, he's a kilo.
Yeah.
And he gets stuffed in a tiny little bag, which looks like a pocketbook, and she takes him into, anywhere, restaurants, hotels, all the places he's not supposed to be.
And there was so many undercards, I didn't realize how long we were going to be out at this fight. I just was thinking about like the 4 or 5 top main ones. There were so many. We were gone long, so I wanted to go check on him. I want to make sure he got water. I had to give him his pills. He needed dinner, so I was like, but my prince. He's my prince.
He's such a
so
prince.
yeah, so I left, and I thought I would be back in time by the time the fight was going to be ending, but I missed the whole fucking thing. So by the time I left the room, you called me.
I'm like, where are you?
Yeah, and I said, I'm coming back. I said, I'm coming back to the fight, and you said, I'm in the club with Tito.
Right.
I'm like,
she goes, well, what?
What?
What'd you say? You're in the what with who?
Up in the club.
I go, yeah, exactly. I go, well, the fight is already over. We're done. We left. And as we're leaving, Joe, I'm walking out of the place. And I kind of melt into the line behind Tito Ortiz and his whole
posse
entourage.
Was it the Sky Lounge? Are you talking
about? No, Avalon.
It was Avalon.
Avalon. That's
at Mohegan Sun.
Yeah. That's the one that's got all the. It looks like ice. It's built out of crystal.
Yeah, it's like a the big nightclub there.
Yeah. We just had an event there not long ago.
As we're coming into the arena earlier on in the night, there's a big sign outside of the club, which at the time was closed, but we could see a sign of Tito Ortiz is the special VIP guest tonight. Going to be appearing at Club Avalon after the fight. So I didn't even think anything about actually being there with him at that later on in the evening. But as it happens, I'm kind of walking in the line, and one of Tito's guys, Freddie, says to me, hey, man, dude, I saw you with the Spike shoot a couple weeks ago. I said, yeah, come on with us, man. We're going into Avalon. We're going to have a good time. I'm like, all right. So I kind of just melt into the line and walk right into the front door, and, of course, taken up into this roped-off VIP area where it's unlimited food and
they hear about it in all the rap
oysters
songs
and shrimp and Ciroc and everything, and chicks serving you drinks, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. I could do this.
Yeah. You always hear VIP in the club.
Yeah, we're up on this riser, and everyone's like, Tito, I love you.
Yeah. So I'm talking to Skip, and he's like, yeah, I'm in the VIP section with Tito. I'm like, what? He goes, well, there's somebody waiting for you at the front of the club, though. He goes, don't worry, don't wait on the line. Just go to the front of the line.
There's a long ass line, 100 people trying to get into the club. I'm just like, go right to the front of the line and tell the guy you're Alison. And so there was a dude out there and ushered you right into it.
Yeah, so I go to the front there, and I'm like, I don't remember the name of the guy who was waiting for me, but that he ushered me in. We went down this long hallway and across the club. He takes me to the front. You're behind the front of the club next to where the DJ is with the.
I'm like, hey.
And the little upstage area. Sitting there.
How you doing?
Yeah, sitting with Tito, who's got the food and the big bucket with the ice and the Ciroc in there in front of him. We're chilling out.
We were partying like rock stars.
I know.
Yeah, she doesn't need any security to protect her ass.
No, I will.
She will definitely punch you right in the fucking face.
Very quick story about sneaking animals into hotels. This is very fast. Carol and I did that one time. She had a pet fish that she had. And now it's not very difficult. I'm serious. She had a fish that she didn't want to leave at home. We were going to be away for a couple of days. She had to feed it. She had nobody to feed it. So she takes the thing into a hotel, a very high-end hotel that we were in Grand Canyon, right on the rim of the Grand Canyon. Right. And she left it in a nice sunny place in front of a mirror.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Yeah, you know exactly what happened.
Enough said. Came back with a boiled fish.
No, not boiled. the maid came in and used some kind of cleaning solvent on the mirror.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, the fish was belly up when you got back.
And she was like, "What happened to my fish?"
Oh, that sucks.
What was the fish's name? Do you remember?
I finally figured it out. It was like an episode of Columbo. Well, ma'am, I think you left the fish in front of the mirror, you see.
Ma'am, just one more thing, ma'am.
Did the maid use fantastic? Or was it Windex?
It might have been 409.
Formula 409 or Windex. Okay.
What was the fish's name?
Oh, I don't even remember.
Freddy the fish.
Well, I had Kilo. I was also concerned about I put the light on, so I do not
Kilo
disturb.
gets sucked up by a vacuum.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I made like a
Dustbuster.
makeshift like wall of pillow that he was behind on the lower pillow, so that if somebody walked in, though, he would be shielded by a big pillow that you couldn't see.
Kilo.
That it was
He's partying with some poodle. Back
well, he
there.
ended up peeing on his little bed that I brought for him because I did wait too long, but it didn't sink through.
Funny, I did that last time I stayed at Mohegan Sun.
You peed on your little bed too?
Yeah, you know. It's a party spot, man.
Oh man.
Oh fuck. So okay, so we're back in the club, and they kept saying, "Oh my god, that fucking DJ! I hated that DJ. The DJ sucked that night. He kept stopping the song to say Tito Ortiz in the club."
He was playing some really good music, but the problem was that he'd play like 30 seconds of the song, just enough for everybody to get the groove on, be the whole dance floor is bouncing, and then stop. Tito Ortiz in the house, and then you start a different song.
A different song with a different beat.
It's like, so, you know, like DJs try to keep that beat consistent, right?
So you
and I
keep
know this from
dancing.
DJing for years, man. It was like... It was like stop, start.
Yeah, between the
even
different
Tito
songs,
was like, "All right, dude, I'm good, man. Everybody
couldn't-
knows I'm here, bro."
You couldn't keep dancing. You wanted to dance, but you could not keep dancing because he changed the rhythm. He'd start talking. It's like he loved the sound of his own voice, this
Bashing
fucking
the
guy.
DJ.
It was the worst DJ ever. Because just when you get into a good song,
Well,
you
I
had
think
to
he
stop.
was doing his job. They probably,
No.
Tito's PR people probably like, "Listen, man, keep saying his name."
Listen,
but I think he overdid it, though.
You defend people way too fucking much.
Well, I'm coming from a DJ standpoint,
No,
you know,
he sucked.
like
There's good people in every profession, and there's shitty people, and he was a shitty one.
All right.
He sucked.
Quick story. I have to. Rampage Jackson was at a club that a band was playing at that I happened to be at the time, and the lead singer was just a huge MMA guy. You know, he loved the fight. He was a fan, a big fan. Right. So he kept on saying, "Rampage Jackson in the house. Rampage Jackson in the house." Just kept on saying it. Rampage got a little bit, after a while, he was like, "All right, enough." He said to the guy. And the lead singer actually went up to Rampage and said, dude, you got to do me one favor, man. Just like give me a shot. And Rampage is like, "I'll kill you."
Are you serious?
He goes, no, in front of everybody right now. Come on, man, give me a punch. And Rampage, he did. He gave him a shot in the arm. The shortest right I've ever seen knocked this lead singer down.
Oh, wow.
Lead singer fell down.
It was like the Bruce Lee 1-inch punch.
Yeah, exactly. It was awesome. It was the best thing I ever saw. And the guy's like, okay, now he was bothering him for his autograph all night, pictures with him. He goes, okay, now I'll give you my selfie. I'll give you my autograph. I'll give you whatever you want. I just had to do that.
Oh, my God.
Ask for you.
All right, so it was like overdoing your job, right?
Yeah.
People lose their minds.
So, 2 great weekends.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, let's talk about what happened after the club shut down at, 2 a.m.?
It was early.
They stopped. It was like
it was like
we were like barely
1
there.
o'clock or something. I don't know what the time limit is in Connecticut,
stopped
but whatever it
serving
was,
alcohol.
it was early. Because we know for being New Yorkers that like, back in the day,
until
we didn't
6
even go
a.m.
out until midnight,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
4
you're around
a.m.
till 4 or 5 in the morning, and then you go to the diner, right?
Yeah,
So,
the club shuts at 4 a.m. in New York.
It's like everybody just starts pumping, and they're like, "All right, I want to thank you all for coming tonight." The lights come up, and I'm like,
And they're
"What's
like,
going
"All right,
on?
good
Was there is like a fire drill or something? What the fuck is going on?"
I have a theory about
So
that. A lot of times I have a theory about that. That's not because it's Connecticut, but because it's on an Indian reservation.
Oh, is that right?
And the witching hour, they also stopped serving alcohol at like midnight on a lot of these,
Right.
like the gambling areas.
Yeah.
They stopped serving alcohol at midnight. And we can cut this out or we even end the whole thing. But I really do believe it's because of what happens with engine and firewater. I really do I do believe that has a lot to do with it. Because there are other places in Connecticut that don't close that early or stop serving
Right.
alcohol.
Yeah, I think it was like midnight.
No, it was not midnight.
They stopped serving.
It was not midnight.
Oh, they have to.
No, the club
latest it was
stopped
1 o'clock.
the club stopped at 2, and that's when they made everybody leave.
But like,
and then he kept saying, well, it's Connecticut, it's Connecticut. We kept saying, what the fuck? Because you were at the point of mild intoxication.
I was at the point I just started feeling good.
You were like, what? You were just like...
I'm like, what? Wait a second. I just get my buzz on here.
I know. It's like, you kept just like, what? Really? 4 p.m. in New York? Really?
Well, you know what? All right, so I think the real reason behind that is because I felt like our time of partying like rock stars with Tito Ortiz, which, let's face it, is like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, was now coming to a rapid close.
Yeah, but it
was like in a flash, a flip of a switch. All right, everybody get out of the club. I'm like, oh, that's the end of that. But that's not what happened.
Everybody got hungry.
But before Tito said, hey, man, let's go get some burgers at Johnny Rockets. We got to go hit the tables. So it's like, okay, let's go hit the tables. So I'm thinking, like, we're going to go get something to eat? And he's like, no, gambling tables. So I'm like, cool, let's go.
Didn't we go to Johnny Rockets first?
No.
Oh, that's right. We went to the tables first because we spent the...
No, we went directly to the blackjack table.
So we walked through the casino and we go to the...
Blackjack table.
The blackjack table. Not just any blackjack table.
No, it was a $100 minimum blackjack table. I don't even know what the maximum was, way more than I had, but it was a $100 minimum bet table.
Yeah.
Which, listen, I'm not a big gambler. I know how to play blackjack a little bit. I'm not by any means a good blackjack player, and there's definitely a technique to it. For those of you who play, you'll know that. So when I sat down next to Tito Ortiz, who is obviously a very experienced blackjack player.
Let's back up even before that, honey. He sat down at his $100 table because he's a big gambler, and his buddy, what was his guy? Freddie was talking about how he wins a lot of money. He's really good, and he loves to gamble, and he wins. So we're standing there waiting to watch the winning show, and we're observing, and he's got his beautiful girlfriend Nicole sitting next to him at the table. And
by the way, it was like the sweetest girl ever. She's
awesome.
Such a nice person. The two of them are
not
just like
only was she
super
like
down to earth.
Because we were talking to her for a while, and she was just an incredible person, but fucking beautiful. Holy shit!
A chick that is that crazy knockout, ridiculously good looking, you would expect to be like
an asshole or dumb,
of a bitch or something. She was
not
so sweet.
She was
and
so
such
cool.
a nice person. And we really had a good time hanging out with them, talking to them. It wasn't like
they're so fucking real. The two of them.
Because we meet so many people in this business. There's a lot of celebrity bullshit and a lot of douchebags, and they were so not what you would expect them to be. They were just regular
so cool
people.
Yeah, and when she was talking to us about their relationship and his twins and their love, and it was like, holy shit! I've never really seen other people who love like we do, and talking about it was almost like talking to a mirror, sort of. It was like, we know what you mean. We know what you mean.
You really didn't expect to hear that from them.
Yeah, like the respect that they have for each other, and that you wouldn't expect somebody like him, a fighter, and he's like really badass. He's got this reputation, and his love for her was like right back at her, and it was.
Well, I think that's a misconception of most people.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You
people
would
think
assume
that like if you're a fighter, you're a hard ass kind of guy, even on and off the mat. But most guys that I know that fight, and I've been wrestling and involved with martial arts pretty much most of my life. There's that guy that you are when you're in the cage or on the mat, and then there's a different person. And many times those people are actually some of the most affectionate, nicest family people that you'll meet, because that's their counter. That's the counterweight. You know what I'm saying? That family, that affection and that emotion side of them is what allows them to go in the ring and beat the living shit out of you.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I don't know, did you see his Instagram?
Yeah.
The thing that he put, and even you, who is like the most fucking sensitive, affectionate,
don't give too much away,
loving, most wonderful fucking husband in the whole world.
Making me out to be like this little mush puppy.
Well, you are. You are. You're like the best fucking husband ever. You're affectionate, you're kind, and you're considerate, and I trust you, and you're awesome.
Oh.
Shut up, motherfucker! Shut up. Tito posted this post on his Instagram. A good relationship is when two people accept each other's past, support each other's present, and love each other enough to encourage each other's future. So don't rush love. Find a partner who encourages you to grow, who won't cling to you, who will let you go out into the world and trust that you will come back. This is what true love is all about, and it's always worth the wait. Now, he posted that. I'm like...
Wow.
It's like they're just so fucking cool, like meant for each other. Like they just love each other so
what a
much.
Pussy. I'm gonna kick his ass for that.
I just love the two of them. That's where I'm going.
Yeah.
I just love the two of them. They're really fucking cool. So we were sitting there observing him start to play, and he had his $100 chips. He laid out a shit ton of money onto the table, and he was doing well. And then all of a sudden, Skip's like, I got to play next to Tito. I got to play. Take a picture of me playing next. And you're drunk at this point, I will say. So now I'm like, oh, no. Because I don't even go to the quarter. I don't gamble the quarters into the slot machine. I don't gamble. I'm cheap.
Here was my thought on that. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll sit down. I'll throw out $500. I'll play with that. If I lose it, you know what? So what? It was $500 that I sat down next to Tito Ortiz and played blackjack with, which, you know what? That's, to me, worth the price of admission.
Not to me.
Just because he was such a great guy and so cool that... who has the opportunity to do stuff like that with people like that? So I'm like, you know what? Let's do it.
No.
So you proceeded to try to talk me out of it.
Yeah, I tried to talk you out of it, like
She's
with
like,
the
no. You don't want to do that right now.
We got bills, and we don't have money like he does, and we need that money. You know, it's like, come on now, like we got bills to pay, and he's got it rolling like that, and we don't.
Let's face it, we're obviously not broke, and to me, I was like, you know what? This is a rare opportunity to do something really cool, so we did it. And the good news is, I sat down, had a great time. He taught me a bunch of stuff how to play because I was actually like, all right, Tito, should I stand or should I?
Well, yeah, because you sat down. I was in the midst of saying to him,
no, he was cool with it, man. Because he was like, hey, man, I'd stay on that. And he's like, elbow me and stuff. He's like, no, waving me off. Is like,
now I can't see what's going on. I couldn't see, and I didn't know that because I'm behind
Tito's
Skip.
Like, doing one of these, like, cut it off. Dude.
I'm standing behind you because you proceeded to walk to the table amidst my protest.
Yes.
And so I was fucking fuming.
Really?
Because, oh my God.
I didn't get that.
I went from fuming to upset thinking about all the fucking money that you were about to throw out the window. So I started to cry. And watching you. Yeah, I was totally fucking crying.
Oh my God.
Watching you because I was like, because to me, it's throwing it away,
so
and I was really upset.
Get to the good part.
So I'm
you don't
watching
always
you.
lose when you gamble.
I
Let's
can't
just say
see
that.
you.
There is a time that occasionally
Yeah.
people do win, which is why you go back, by the way. If you lost all the time, you'd never go back.
So I couldn't see that he was helping you. All I saw was your back, and I'm thinking you're going to come back over to me and tell me that you lost the money.
That
and
look
I
on
had,
my face, like,
and I was totally full.
I told you so. Look.
Yes, and I was prepared to say to you, now that you lost that $500, tomorrow we're going to Tiffany, and I'm spending $500
Cool,
on something for
like, let's
myself
do it.
as a fuck you. So next thing you know, you turn around and you won $500.
That's right.
And you were like, oh, I won $500.
That's right.
And Tito helped me.
God, give it up. Give it up.
And
Give
I was
some
like,
props.
holy shit. I'm like, okay, stop right there.
Give
Let's
some
go
props.
cash out.
Give some props.
No, I gave you props.
Thank you.
I gave you props. I was like, yes, let's cash out now, though, before anything else happens. So we walked over to the window.
By the way, what did I do with that $500 the next day?
No. What did you do 5 minutes later with that $500 that you won?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I forgot about that
Well,
part.
now that I got the house's money.
Right, one hand, blackjack.
Thank you.
Oh, no.
I'm like, oh, no, you don't. I said, all right, only three the max.
This is the reason why I don't gamble, Joe.
Yeah.
Because now that I'm up 500,
we cashed out.
I actually went and cashed out. I had the paper back in my pocket, right? So now Tito's, of course, still there playing. Has a massive pile of $100 chips in front of him. I don't know, God knows how many tens of thousands of dollars or whatever. So I'm like, wow, he's still winning.
Yeah. Let me go back.
Why did I stop? I should have kept on the Tito train.
So he's like, it's the house's money. So let me just go roll with this. I said,
well, now we're playing with their money.
No, I'm like,
how many times have you heard that, Joe?
300 the fucking most. I said 300. That at least we'll still have a couple hundred left over. You're like, okay. So he goes back to the table and he puts down, I see you put down the 3 and now you're still going. So now I'm like, all right, well, he's not going to, at least we're going to be up 200. So about 10 minutes goes by. He turns around. The guy says to me, Freddie, like, oh, look, he won. And I see like at least 7 chips. I'm like, we won 700. Yay. As it turns out, behind my back, you threw out another couple hundred. You gambled away the whole fucking 500. You didn't win 700. You were really only up the 500 that you originally were. So you lost, but then you won it back. So we were still 500 only up. Cashed out. Right. Thank God.
So, but isn't it cool though? I told you I'd come out of there ahead, and I did.
Yeah, but you put down that extra. If I would have seen that extra $200,
but sometimes that's what you got to do to get back to where you were.
That's what you had to do to get out, not be in trouble with me.
Right, Joe? I mean, Joe, you're a poker player, right? So, I mean, how many times have you were up, and now you're playing with their money, and then all of a sudden you went back down to where you started, and even below where you started.
That's the whole idea behind gambling is the longer you keep your ass in the seat. See, there's like a curve there. The longer you keep your ass in the seat, the more of a chance you're going to win the money back if you're on the losing side. And conversely, the longer you keep your ass in the seat, the more of a chance you're going to lose the money back if you're on the winning side. So, in the end, I mean, at the end of your gambling career, I don't care who you are, unless you have sponsorship like professional poker players have, you are going to be at the best a couple of hundred up or a couple of hundred down. If you're a regular gambler, you're going to win as much as you lose. There's no way you're going to be like one of these guys where, unless you're a lotto winner or, that type of gambling, there aren't professional poker players that aren't sponsored that actually make money consistently. You're going to lose. So that's the whole idea.
Which means you never gamble again, honey. And because you already won, now we're ahead. And that's it.
And that's why
you go out up.
And that's why the casinos comp their customers.
Right, sure.
I mean, especially like whales, like Tito. I'm sure Tito gets whatever the hell
he won a lot of money that night.
My brother, same thing. They don't care if you win because they know you'll be back to lose it.
Right.
Believe me, for as many times as Tito was up like that, he was down like that.
What Freddie was saying, he won like $300,000 in Vegas, and he went out and bought a what? What was it? What kind of car?
I don't know.
Oh, Lamborghini.
Yeah, was it? I think
something nice.
Yeah, he bought something cash with that money. He bought some cool car that was really fucking cool.
Why not?
And much like my brother Anthony, won big in Atlantic City, and ended up putting in his entire pool and cabana. And all of the, in his backyard, and all of the landscaping, and the hot tub, and the waterfall, it all.
Right.
We didn't get to see that because it was dark out the night of the game.
You guys will be over in the summertime.
And you know what? By the way, that's the thing to do. Go out and buy a car. Go out and spend the money on something good because you're not going to turn that back into chips a week later and give it back to the casino.
Indirectly, you do because he's also been
the
out.
credit.
Well, he's also been out, and he's been like, give me like $10K credit to start, and he loses that, then another 10, and I've seen him down 40 and leave, have to leave, but I've also seen him, up 120 and leave, So it's really what 6 of one.
Well, me not being a gambler, all I can say is it was a super cool experience to even just sit down and sit at the table
with him
and sit and play with Tito and get like coached, and he gave me some great tips, and I walked away with a couple bucks in my pocket rather than down a couple dollars, and it was a good night. So,
and then we went back to the room and we were like up all. It was like really fucking.
That's where the story ends.
No, actually, that's not where the story ends. We went to Johnny Rockets afterwards. Right. Oh God, there was fucking drama at Johnny Rockets. We get on the line. Everybody orders their food, and Skip's like, I'm getting this for everybody because he helped you win, so we're gonna pay for the food. And somehow Freddie's food was separate. Like, I don't know if he hadn't ordered yet, but somehow he ended up having to order his own food and he paid for it. So now we want to go sit down, and because there's a whole bunch of empty tables, and we start to walk towards the tables, and some lady that's working in there is like, no, we're not seating there now. We're like, what? Like, we're just waiting for the food. Like, we want to sit down and eat it. And they're like, no, we're not seating there. So he proceeds to beg, and Tito's like, we just want to sit down and eat. And the lady obviously doesn't know who the fuck he is. And she's like, no, we're not seating back there. You have to wait. And so now they take out, what was that? Like, Freddie take out like a 20 to give her like a 20 to come on, just let us sit down. And she's like, no. You know what? You're being difficult, and now I'm canceling your order. We're like, what?
What?
Well,
like, really?
We were being friendly and begging.
We just bought all the food. We're standing there waiting to eat, and she's like, you know what, you guys, we're canceling the order. And I'm like, lady,
what?
listen, we just wanted to sit down and eat the food. And by the way, his Tito Ortiz and his whole entourage behind us, and we're just gonna, come in and sit down in your restaurant. No. And I was like,
Nobody was rude. Nobody was inappropriate. And she was.
But then everybody got rude.
Oh, no, Freddie was like, what? He's like, you're a fucking cunt. You know? Yeah, so she takes his ticket.
Once the cunt bomb came out, all bets are off.
Yeah.
Then it was like, security, and now you're definitely not getting your food.
So she canceled his food.
She's about to start to give me back my refund, and it's like the only place open right now at that hour to eat, and we're starving. You know, we're like, I'm like, listen, all right. So they all walked out, and I'm like, listen, how about you just give us our food and we'll take it and we'll go? And she's like, you know what? You're the only nice one in this whole group. She's like, I'm going to give you the food. But she's like, you tell that one he's not allowed to ever eat here again.
They are food Nazis over there.
Yeah, I'm like, seriously?
Yeah.
I just want a fucking burger.
So then so this story gets way fucking better. So now we're waiting for the food. Now Tito and Freddie and Amber go to take a seat in this restaurant like this, which is in the middle of the mall area.
It's across the walkway there, but it's closed down at that time.
Yeah,
but
it's
there's
shut
still
down.
tables out in the open. We just sat down at the
So
table.
they go to this
sit.
closed restaurant and they sit themselves at a table like nobody else is there. You know, like they made themselves comfortable at the table while they're waiting for us in the food. So we're waiting. The woman finally gives us the bag. She bagged it herself, gave us the food. We go back to the table. They open it up. And there's 2 wrapped burgers, there's 2 long containers, and there's 2 shakes. The shakes went to Tito and his girl. They opened up a burger, they split it. There's only one other burger, but meanwhile, they had also ordered a Philly cheesesteak.
Right.
So we open up this one long package and there's fries in it. So they're eating the fries, they split a burger. There's only one other burger, which was Skip's because he ordered a double cheese. Something's fucking missing.
There's no Philly cheesesteak. So this is after 20
After
minutes of waiting, all this
bullshit.
trauma, the woman finally reluctantly hands me the bag of food and it's like, get the fuck out of here with this food. I'm like, thank you. Bring it over there. So now they're like, oh, wait. Where's Tito's Philly cheesesteak?
And it's Tito's Philly cheesesteak. You know what I
I'm
mean? Like, we don't want.
I'm like, all right, so now I feel bad because I'm like, listen, I
And $55 later,
guys got nothing
like,
to eat, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna walk back there with my tail between my legs. And, you forgot to put the sandwich in the bag. She's like, really? She looks at me. She goes, why are you back here? I'm like, listen, I'm sorry. You must have made a mistake for somehow the Philly cheesesteak didn't wind up in the bag. She's like, I packed that bag myself. It's in there. I go, ma'am, listen, I'm not lying to you. I just opened up the bag. There's 2 burgers, 2 paper containers that you open up, the flap things, right, with the fries in it, right? Wow. Fries and a couple shakes. Because I packed that myself. I'm like, okay, isn't the customer always right? I'm telling you, somebody made a mistake. We get into this whole big thing, whole big melee. The manager comes out, security. It's this whole big thing over this Philly cheesesteak. It was like the most ridiculous thing you ever saw. And meanwhile, there's a line of people that are like, hey, we just want to order our food. I'm making such a scene over this Philly cheesesteak. Yeah. So finally, after 10 minutes of arguing and really all out arguing with these people to where Freddie comes back over, the one who threw out the C-bomb, and she's like, oh, no.
He called me a C-U-N-T.
Don't you even think of coming up in here. You get out of here. And I'm like, Freddie, back off, dude. I'm just trying to get the Philly cheesesteak,
And just for the record, she was a huge cunt. She really was.
He called it right. She was.
Yeah.
True.
All right, so now
that's true. Yeah, because she told me she's like, you're not getting it.
No, you're not getting it.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
So then,
right.
That's when I stood up and I said, "He's getting that fucking sandwich." I got up.
That's right. You went back.
I went back.
Yeah, you went back, and that's when I looked at Tito and I go, "Oh, dude, this is going to get really fucked up right now."
So
that's what happened.
That's what happened.
Right. Oh my god!
So I went back to the restaurant, and there was this guy who was like a manager in training. So he was the one who had been trying to help us before. He was like this nice guy, really like kind of meek, and he was like trying to be helpful. Apparently, she was the manager above him. I didn't realize that. So
Alison Bedell, professional cunt buster.
I am a cunt buster.
That's awesome.
So then
I need one of you around.
I have somebody, absolutely, because then you'll get shit done. So then I have somebody behind the counter. I'm like, get me that other guy, that manager, the short guy. Yeah, get him. He comes out to me. I'm like, all right, I'm very fucking calm. I said, listen to me. We don't want to deal with any of this bullshit. Nobody's trying to start shit over here over a fucking burger. I said, but I'm going to tell you this right now. This is a lot bigger than you, this place, and this burger. I said, let me explain something to you. Do you know who that is out there? He goes, yeah. I said, okay. Now think about this. Spike is here tonight in the hotel. They used the arena to televise this whole fight. They brought Tito here to be part of their publicity for this. Okay? I'm going to complain to the hotel that Spike was paying to be here, Not only am I going to complain to Mohegan Sun, but I'm going to complain to corporate, Johnny fucking Rockets corporate. We're going to tweet it out. We're going to complain to the highest level of everybody involved in this whole fucking thing over this goddamn sandwich.
Give him the burger.
Let me tell. I said, you don't understand what's going to happen over this sandwich. He goes, okay, hold on a minute. And he goes over to the woman, Miss Cunt, and he explained to her whatever I just explained to him. And then she comes over to me and she says, okay, I'm going to get the cheesesteak, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to pay for it out of my own pocket. I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to go get it, but it's going to come out of my pocket, and I'm going to pay for it. Like, this is where I'm supposed to feel sorry for her. I said, okay. Thank you. And I stood there and I waited. She got it. She came to me and she said, okay, this is the sandwich. I paid for it out of my own pocket. I'm really sorry. Have a good night. Thank you.
Oh,
and I walked away and I gave Tito a sandwich.
You got the Philly cheesesteak.
And I got the goddamn motherfucking Philly cheesesteak. It was all done. It was taken care of.
That was a total escapade just to get a meal on us.
That thing was nice and hot and warm.
It was worth the wait, but man, talk about a lot of drama to get a
Johnny Rockets in general, and I'll tell you that I know from past experience. One of the guys in my brother's entourage, Fred from Brooklyn, who's popular on Twitter and elsewhere. He's a blackjack player. He went to Johnny Rockets to see about getting a late night comp, because he's had comp dollars in his account. They refused him a free burger. He went to the hotel the next morning. He was like, he didn't push the issue. He went the next morning to the hotel. He said, I know I had it on my comps.
Right.
I know I was entitled to a meal at Johnny Rockets, and they refused me service, saying that I was intoxicated, that he didn't know what he was talking about, and they claimed that he was intoxicated. Wasn't too intoxicated to remember. I remember Johnny Rockets not serving me. So, yeah, that place we've had trouble with before.
I think that what seemed really apparent to me that they have a lot of people getting in there drunk and acting like assholes.
Yeah.
She was expecting us to start acting like that before anybody did.
Which we were not. We went in there very polite and very courteous, but obviously it didn't end up that way because she was already treating us like we were derelicts.
Before anybody even said anything.
A lot of time, food service workers, they're going to lose their minds. Eventually, it's going to be their fault. From having to deal with, a bunch of assholes.
I can imagine working in that environment,
but you should not. I mean, you shouldn't just expect it to come from,
she had no professionalism as far as customer service because she jumped the gun. Yeah. She didn't apologize. She treated everybody like we were
she did at the end.
Like drunk assholes. No.
In the end,
Officer Bedell took care of that shit promptly.
It's funny, dude, because I was sitting there across the way with Tito and his girl and Freddie, and when she got up and did,
watch this.
I'm like, oh, dude, you don't even know, bro. I'm like, now you're sitting here with like one of the baddest motherfuckers on the planet, right? And they just want to get a cheesesteak, man. You know what I'm saying? Tito's looking at me like, hey, man, don't even worry about it, bro. I'll just forget. I'll go up to the room and get room service. Like, oh no, Tito, she's gonna get you that cheesesteak right now. Yeah. Mark my words. And he's like, oh, shit,
I wasn't leaving until I got that sandwich from her.
And she came back with it, man.
Yeah.
Fighting out of the red corner, Alison, Cheesesteak Sandwich Bedell.
That's right, baby. That's right.
All right, so to wrap it up, what a great couple of weeks we had, and with some awesome people.
Oh, by the way, real quick, did you catch the Ronda Rousey 14 seconds?
No, because that was the same night. That was UFC. Yeah, while we were at Bellator UFC. But people were texting it and tweeting it, and I'm like, no, I haven't seen it, no.
14 seconds.
Wow.
Insane. The woman that should have been standing up banging with Ronda, and that was the only way she was going to win, went straight to the ground. I was in shock. Wow. And I had her for like $20, here and there, about $80 worth of bet.
Right.
Figuring if anyone was going to be able to take Rousey out, it was this woman, as long as they don't go to the ground.
Right.
I'm like, okay, the bell rings. Ding. She runs across the ring. Holy shit, she's on the ground. Holy shit, armbar done.
Yep, that's it.
That fast. That fast. I love it.
Shit.
Love it.
Man.
Right to the point.
It can happen lights out super fast. Sometimes it's one punch, one kick, one quick submission, lights out, man.
Felt bad for the woman, for the other, I don't even remember her name. No one's going to. She was the woman that lost in 14 seconds to Rowdy Ronda Rousey. It was a horrible thing.
We already had the chick fight for the night. Bedell in this corner
against Johnny Rockets.
Against Johnny Rocket cunt.
Philly Cheesesteak Bedell.
And in the other corner, Johnny Rocket Cunt.
Ding! And now the fight's over.
14 seconds. Oh, my God.
Cheesesteak Bedell came out victorious.
Oh, my God. It was 12 seconds.
I'm going to start calling you Cheesesteak Bedell. What the fuck, man? There it is. There's the what the fuck moment for our next segment.
What the fuck?
Cheesesteak.
Wow. That's awesome.
All right, guys.
Great. Well, we spoke a lot longer than we were anticipating. We didn't get to any of our topics. So, honey, I could talk to you all day, but I'm going to be done talking to you right now. Cause
You want to be done?
I'm done talking to you.
I'm done with you.
We got to wrap it up because we don't want to go too over and make everybody sick of us. So I apologize. We had such a great weekend and last night that we talked a lot about it. So we're going to get to all of our
normally we do our other segments like
next time.
what the fuck and what's going on in
Yeah,
the news
we
and
have a
social
lot of
media trending and all the other good stuff that you guys are used to hearing. So
yeah, there's a lot of stuff we still want to talk about.
We'll bring that back next time.
Yeah. So thank you so much for listening.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon.
You've been listening to Hammer and Nails with Skip and Alison Bedell. We'll see you next time, right here on Hammer and Nails.
This is Corolla Digital.